Rob Dauster here. I got Jeff Goodman with me.
Hell no.
John Henson.
Are we still live?
Field of 68 till I die.
Get it to you.
I'm sorry, man. I blacked out.
Randolph Childress.
DJ Khaled, you not a big DJ Khaled guy?
Hands thrown up and in.
Goodman needs to be fired all the time.
Josh Pastor.
You're going to beat people straight up.
You know the deal. Drink responsibly tonight. I'll be drinking with you.
Jarrell McNeil.
From the bluest of the blue bloods to the smallest of the mid-majors.
This is Field of 68 After Dark.
Hello, and welcome in to Field of 68 After Dark on a busy Sunday. We got tons of college basketball action to get into. Big Ten, Chiefs, Bills just finished up. El Clasico, that was fantastic. What a game. But this is a college basketball show. I'm trying to decompress from that game because I was overexposed, as they say. So I'm trying to just decompress, fellas. And it worked out this time. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work out every time, but it worked out this time. At any rate, I am joined tonight by two ACC legends. Wake Forest is definitely in the building with Randolph Childress. The North Carolina Tar Heels are definitely in the building with John Henson. How do we feel about that, by the way? Like, is there like any blood at all with Wake Forest and Carolina, or can you two get along?
I'm good, man. We got a big game tomorrow, right?
Yeah, listen. We can get along now. Tomorrow, I don't want to hear from John till after the game.
Yeah.
So, listen, we can talk about this right now. We're good. It's shoot around time. We're good. But tomorrow night, it's going to be a problem.
I'm gonna be in the group chat. You know, we're gonna watch the first couple of minutes and see how the game's going. I think we're going. We might out tough them boys down in Wake Forest. Private school guys.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
That's a great game, by the way. I know we're not here to do the preview of Wake Forest, North Carolina, but that is actually shaped up to be a fantastic game tomorrow night in the ACC. Look, got a lot to get to. We've had court storming controversies. Obviously, Kentucky got some big news over the weekend with Big Z becoming eligible and coming in and looking like Dirk. So we'll get to that. Let's start with Jokic. Okay, that's the 2024 reference. My bad. I'm going with like
Baby
2005.
Yeah.
I'm going with the 2005 European reference. But let's start with another return that could mean maybe even more, which is Terrence Shannon Jr. In for Illinois, and they looked amazing today. Just blew the doors off of Rutgers. And let's just give you a very quick timeline of the Terrence Shannon Jr. situation for Illinois. So he was suspended from the team on December 28th following an arrest for a rape charge stemming from an event that took place in Kansas back on September 9th. His legal team immediately filed a temporary restraining order, which is a TRO, against the University of Illinois. And they said that Shannon's current and future earnings would face irreparable harm from the suspension, and argued that he's innocent until proven guilty and should be allowed to play as the process in court continues to play out. The judge that was hearing that case sided with Terrence Shannon Jr.'s side last Friday, agreeing that his NIL is worth very little if he's not on the basketball court, and his draft position will continue to plummet. He was then immediately reinstated to full student-athlete status. Illinois was eligible to play today against Rutgers. He will continue to be eligible moving forward unless or until something definite is decided in court. Obviously, his legal case has not been resolved. He is due back in court in Kansas on February 23rd for that preliminary hearing, where the victim side will have their chance to present evidence and arguments against him. So that is the latest on the Terrence Shannon Jr. situation. It came off the bench, got the standing ovation today, and Illinois rolled. Obviously, separate of the legal issues, which none of us on this panel are qualified to talk about. RC, how pivotal is this return for an Illinois team that was really treading water even without him, to get him back, for what seems like will be the stretch run?
When he was out earlier, my concern was just them being able to take the show on the road. And I thought they always went at home. And getting him back, I think it's going to be damn near impossible to win in Champaign. I think he's the best wing getting downhill in transition and finisher in college basketball. I don't think it's even close. You saw that even tonight. I thought he struggled. Timing was off, what you expect. Struggled. Took a couple bad shots, I thought, from behind the arc. 3-ball wasn't there. But just getting there, getting to the rim, drawing fouls. He shot the 10 free throws or so. You see what he brings, getting in the passing lanes, being disruptors defensively. they're back at it. They're back now. Now, as he gets further in shape and gets back into things, I think Illinois can be right there, and they can challenge Purdue. I still think Purdue wins the Big Ten, but I think before I thought it was Wisconsin and a runaway for second. Now I think Illinois is right there.
John, how high are you on this Illinois team with Terrence Shannon Jr. back in the fold for at least another month?
Yeah, I mean, they looked good without him, better than we expected, and that almost, I think, might have helped them from a confidence perspective to be playing so well without him. And then he comes back and infuses his game. I always laugh. I tell my boys all the time, I'm like, yo, he's supposed to be playing at least on a two-way contract. Like, he looks like a pro out there. Like Archie said, he's getting to the line. He's drawing fouls. He's bigger than everybody, faster than everybody, strong. Like, he's a pro. So for them to get a pro back, playing at that level, the sky's the limit for this team. Hopefully whatever happens, it shakes out, what's best for him. But if he can stay and play throughout this season and into the tournament, man, this is probably one of the more scary teams coming down the stretch.
RC, I was going to ask, in a year, where it just doesn't, like, there's a bucket, right, of teams that we believe, should sort of be, ahead above the rest. But in a year where there's not just that one team, if you ask 10 different people who the best team in college basketball is, you'll probably get 10 different answers. Why not Illinois? I mean, why not this team with TSJ in the fold, not just in the Big Ten, but, for the NCAA tournament, for everything?
Oh, I'm right there with you. If he's there, I mean, I've never had a doubt that he was there. I thought the issue was, disregarding just basketball. We're talking. I mean, we've already addressed the legal issues that he's dealing with. If he can stay focused and just get back to playing basketball, and a lot of times when you're involved in anything, let alone something of this magnitude, then the court becomes your sanctuary. You just get there and want to focus on playing basketball. So this team is tough. They're well coached. Other guys have stepped up. Without him, some thought they would even fall apart. I knew they'd win at home. I thought they'd have issues on the road, and that was the case. But with him, they're back now. I if they stay healthy with the options that they provide and having guys and like Harmon stepping up off the bench tonight. Today they're going to be a tough out, and they're going to be right there in the mix of things. I mean, they defend, they make shots. They just got matchup out. They play bully ball. I mean, they really just bully dudes, and so. When you got a type of experience and you got guys like that, they're going to be there. I have no question. Like I said, just dealing with the distraction. They've already dealt with that and shown us that they can deal with distractions. This team did. Having him back, you could tell it was almost like they were just super welcoming to him. He was excited to be out there. Aside from, like we talked about, the legal stuff that he's dealing with, man. I mean, it was just what we expected from Terrence Shannon Jr. I mean, just coming there and just affecting the game in different ways.
Last thing on this, we'll move on to some other Big Ten topics. But John, again, I mean, both you guys obviously played at a high level, but just the morale piece of it, right? Like you lose him, whether he's guilty or innocent, right? I mean, the thought, 2 or 3 weeks ago was that he's not coming back based on just the legal process, but the morale when you do get the news, like how powerful is that, knowing that you're getting him back in the fold, again, for at least the next month?
Yeah, the first team All-American coming back off the bench. I mean, as a team, we can't be more excited. And then from a personal standpoint, college, man, you living with guys. I mean, you become a family. I am far more closer than all my college teammates than my professional teammates. So, just having him around, he's probably going through a tough time as well, having that support, man. When he came in the game, see his teammates kind of hug him, and when he went in, that's got to be a good feeling. And I think that's why they played well today even more, man. Like, just getting their guy back and happy to see him smiling because, like Archie said, man, it does become your sanctuary as a team and as an individual. As far as the team and where they can go, I think we're kind of from history, right? We believed in them every year, then they kind of show us not to believe in them. So I think everyone's kind of scared to really get on the bandwagon here, but they're legit. And if this is their window, if they don't do anything this year, I think this is the best chance they have within the next 4 to 5.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to stay on the bandwagon, though, John, because this would normally rip a team apart, right? Something like this happening to not many teams can lose a first-team All-American and then play as well as they did and hold it down, and then he gets back. So I think there's something different about this Illinois team.
Yeah. Other Big Ten action, RC, if you want to just opt out of this question altogether, bro, just let me know.
I already know where you're going. Thank you. Just take that to John.
Because they did. We got to get some fresh insight, all right? Because we know RC gonna say the same shit. All right. So let's go to John Henson, who maybe will provide a fresh perspective on Michigan State. Hey, look, it doesn't matter if Jameer Young tried to go 1-on-4. Okay. Michigan State got it done. So, like, where are we on the believe meter on Michigan State, John?
I'm starting to it's starting to get a little lukewarm, I guess. I mean, if you watch that game, that stretch that stretch where they went up like 15, that showed you kind of what Michigan State can be, right? Although like Maryland just can't score. Like really, like Michigan State probably should have lost this game, being how they played down the stretch, but Maryland just can't score, and that was just the issue today. But I mean, Michigan State they're 4-4, I think, in Big 12 play, so they're in the middle of the pack with the chance to improve. I mean, I think from fourth to the last in Big 12 is 2 games. So next week we could be saying Michigan's at the bottom or closer to the top. So that's just what type of season it's been in the Big Ten, and that's what type of season it's been for Michigan State. So I'm getting warmer on them, but they got a lot of work to do to get to where they need to be to make this tournament.
RC, I'm going to ask you,
John.
go ahead, no, please,
go ahead.
By all means, you got something new to say.
I was going to say, listen, Tyson Walker's a dog, man. I love watching him play. The dude just time and time again answers the bell. But, I've spoken enough in these guys in nauseous about them. I'm happy for them. They got a big road win. Both of these teams was desperate. I thought Maryland had to have it. They were at home. And, like Tyson Walker just, wasn't playing great, wasn't playing poorly, but just when they need a bucket, he just steps up every time. They only scored 17 points in the second half on the road and won. And they won.
RC, I swear I'm watching the game. I fell asleep, right? I I wake up, I see the score. I say, what happened? Like, that's what's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was the same score. I was asleep for like 30 minutes.
Damn.
You said Maryland couldn't score. I think that's Michigan State's problem, too. I think it's scoring. Yep. But, Tyson Walker, man, I could never cheer against him. He just answers the bell. You know it's coming. He hits time, these shots, big shots. He puts his team on his back. And I've said this. I think, I would just double him. I would just be like, somebody else got to beat me because I know he will beat me. So I would expect some of these teams in conference play to start scheming him and trying to do more. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me because I've seen him do it too many times.
Last thing on this, RC, I want to get your perspective because that final Maryland possession was a complete shit show. Jameer Young, I joked about it. He was really 1-4. Yeah, and then he had a guy in the corner who was wide open, whether he wanted to take the 3 or whether he wanted to, drive the lane as a guard. Are you just, and I realize that, he's their guy and he's their first option, but are you just, is it tunnel vision? Like what's going on there? No timeout from Kevin Willard either.
Let's be honest, man. That whole segment right there coming down the stretch was like Young and Walker going back and forth. So with Tyson Walker coming down hitting that shot, you knew Jameer Young was going to try to answer the bell. When Tyson hit a 3, he came back, tried to hit a 3. He stepped on the line. There's no way he was going to sit there and not take that. He's earned it right with that team, man. He's the guy to their closer, and it didn't work. Hell of a play too. With who was that? Holloman on him, I thought. I can't remember who it was. Who was that was guarding him and got a hand? That was just a good defensive play.
That was, it was the entire Michigan State team, bro. It was all
but somebody got their hand on it, man. I thought if he got in the lane, it would have been a foul or something. But I don't like foul. Timeouts in that moment too. If you got a dude you trust and you can put the ball in his hands, I don't have a problem with no timeout. He's earned the right. He's answered the call for them as well. Too many times to be worried about that.
Yeah. Look, we got a lot more.
Spoken like a true scoring guard right there.
Facts.
Give me the ball. I don't need no plays. Just get it inbound and get out the way.
But it ain't. But see, he ain't even addressing the 1-on-4 piece of it though, John. He's just
Here's the thing too. Like he's also got to shoot it in time with board. You could get I'm like, if I'm the big man, right? Cool. If that's RC, I'm cool with that. He's our guy. But I'm getting on the glass, so you know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother aspect of what could have happened too,
Yep. No, look, hey, it's hard to win on the road, and Michigan State got it done. So they keep stacking up the dubs, and we'll see, what it looks like in a couple of months. Lots more to get to here on After Dark. We got to talk about the court storming situation, man, because that has been a topic of discussion that we really do need to hit, and also a wild day in the AAC, a top 10 team going down again. I'm John Martin. I'm here with John Henson, Michigan State ambassador, Randolph Childress. We'll be back after this.
As you guys know by now, we've partnered with BetMGM this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68 each and every week of the college basketball season. We have a special offer that will be available starting on Tuesday, January 9th and running through Monday, February 12th, the morning after Super Bowl 58. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, in honor of the big game, you can use the bonus code FIELD158 and you'll get $158 in free bets on your first wager with BetMGM, regardless of whether or not you win that first bet. Here's how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app. Sign up using the bonus code FIELD158. Deposit at least $5 and place your first wager on any game. You'll receive $158 in bonus bets regardless of the outcome of your bet. Just make sure that you use that bonus code FIELD158 when you sign up. And remember, BetMGM is now available under one wallet in select states. As a New Jersey resident, this is super convenient when I have to go cover games in New York or Philly, which happens quite a bit. When you cross state borders, you just log into your existing account and fire away. You don't have to create separate accounts in each state. It's easy, it's simple, it's clean. And most importantly, we have some fun stuff coming up for the heart of the college basketball season. Bet insurance tokens, college hoops odd boosts, and my favorite, a nice juicy parlay boost. So download the BetMGM app and sign up today. Field 158.
Welcome back to Field of 68 After Dark. I'm John Martin here with two ACC legends, Randolph Childress, John Henson. We got a lot to get to here on the show. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a coincidence or if it's just that Memphis basketball keeps losing every damn time they play. But I've been doing these shows on the heels of Memphis losses, and this one in particular today felt like it was a crushing blow. Tulane finds a way to win 81-79. David Jones, 2 straight threes at the buzzer do not go, and a 32-point effort from him is wasted. RC, we were talking about Memphis, a couple of days ago after they lost to South Florida, and you weren't in panic mode. You mentioned that it's not a devastating loss, that there's still plenty of time. Now it's 2 straight. Now it feels like perception on this Memphis team is going to really go sour. What's wrong when you watch them? What's just fundamentally wrong with this team? A month ago, they were beating Virginia and they were, beating Michigan and Arkansas. And now they're losing, they've already lost 2 games in the American. What's wrong with this team as you see it?
Well, I wasn't concerned because it was I looked at it as a one-off and I assumed that they would correct some things. Now I'm concerned. The biggest reason why I'm concerned with Memphis is it's not just losing the game, it's how they're losing the game. This is an experienced team, and we go back last game, it was a late turnover, and then it was a mix-up on veteran guys on a switch. You lose that game. Okay, I'm assuming it's going to be a one-off. They're going to fix that. No, they come out tonight against Tulane, and you see similar things. You see, for a veteran group, this isn't a bunch of freshmen and sophomores. These are seniors and experienced guys. Even though they're new playing together, they're still experienced guys. They're blowing assignments. There's mental errors. I mean, the giving up a 3 late in the game on a baseline out of bounds
Off.
It's like, I mean, not even a reversal. It's just straight inbounds, ball side, strong side. And you give up a 3 late in the game. I think, and again, and having said all that, the other issue that I have is that I never questioned them and thought they could shoot anyway. And the one thing we said about the last game, I thought they got exposed was because of their inability to shoot threes. And what I said to you was their kryptonite is zone.
Yep.
This team will struggle against zone. They got to figure out a way to start, figuring out play zone. And Caleb Mills' injuries, we said it. Hey, they had a couple of wins right after Caleb Mills got injured, but he was a guy that you knew could come in and get hot, carry your offense in certain moments, give you another complimentary score. Had obviously big game experience. He's gone for the year, so that puts a ton of pressure on Walton. We talked about from where's the 3-point shooting going to come from.
Yep.
He went down a little bit today. I don't know. I am. Memphis has a reason to be concerned. They're not defending the way they're capable of defending. I thought they was more creating havoc and turnovers and being real disruptive on the defensive end of the floor. They're no longer doing that. But some of that is because teams are zoning them and they're just controlling the pace of the game. And this Memphis team is not built to play against the zone. And guess what? If I'm in the league, I would play 35 minutes of zone against Memphis. I don't care if I play it or not. The only thing that would make teams go back, man, if you line up and play man in that league, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You don't have the athletes. You don't have and let them press and get after you. You're in trouble. And high major teams would be in trouble with that. But if you zone this team, I think they got issues.
Yeah, I agree. The zone is kind of what they struggle with. Something that they haven't really cracked today. And even you talk about a veteran team. Like I think their average age is almost 25. 14 for 22 from the free throw line. That's not indicative of a veteran team. And then today, 14 turnovers, 0 points off 14 turnovers. So that's right there. You're not locked in. You're not making the right play when you get the X possession. And that's was the story of the game. And down the stretch, when it's a 5-6 point game, 7-8 minutes left, like as a veteran team, you got to understand, like you got to get stops and you can blow this thing open. Just 2 or 3 more good defensive possessions. And like RC said, blown assignments. It's almost like they're like, it's Tulane. We'll be able to get back out of there. We'll be able to get out of this hole if we dig one. It's just Tulane. And the whole time now the lead evaporated. And you got to shoot 2 threes at the end of the game and you don't make them. And your second loss in a row. They came down here to Tampa against USF and got them a season defining win as well. So the target's on their back. And they're not handling it well right now.
I'll say this.
Even Quinterly getting that flagrant one.
Yep.
It's just.
That was in fairness, that was a bullshit flagrant. No.
Listen, it is. But it is. But he extended his arm. I'm only saying that's just the type of mistakes that they're making for a team with their level of experience late in games. Like that's a mistake you make or you get caught up in that. In the first half or the first 5 minutes. But they're in these tight games. Let's be honest. It's not like they're blowing people away. They're in these tight games. And they're just blowing too many assignments, man. You see 2 guys running one way, leaving guys open. You just see the lack of communication on the defensive end of the floor with these guys. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't the team that we saw, the first half of the season. And that's the thing that's surprising.
It looks like the Budenholzer defense because when, historically when I was playing, Jay Kidd was like a defensive coach. Budenholzer would be like, hey, coach, what are we doing this? Just keep going. Don't stop. That's what it looks like Penny's telling them. So they got to fix that.
Hey, I want to say one thing for the people from Memphis who are watching because I know they're curious. And I think this applies not just to Memphis, but I think it applies to every team in college basketball now in 2024. There is such a thing as leaning too much on the transfer portal. There is such a thing because Memphis brought in 9-10 new guys from the portal, and all of them super talented. You can go down the list, right? Caleb Mills, Naquan Tomlin. You can, Javon Quinterly, David Jones, Jaquan Walton. You can go down the list of all these guys who are super. Nick Jordan, accomplished. They've gotten it done at a high level at the Division I level in college basketball. But when you take all of them and you bring them into a situation at the same time, there's no continuity. There's no voice that rises above. There's no pecking order. And when you talk about a team that struggles with communication, which is clearly what this Memphis team is doing, I think you can point directly to that. And Penny's throwing his hands up and he's saying the game plan is great and we're doing, we're prepared and they're just not executing. That's because you threw a team together and there's no returners and it's just new guys that don't know each other. And I think that's the cautionary tale here, in my opinion, is that you don't have that leadership that carries over. It's just a bunch of sort of mercenaries, and this is what the result looks like.
John, I'm going to push back on that because that's college basketball right now, right? Like everybody's bringing in guys in it. But when you bring in, there should be an advantage to bringing in experienced guys. It doesn't matter how many, because you look around the country, everybody's bringing in a bunch of different guys. And you can say that many, but hearing Penny's message and what he said to those guys, and I agreed with it because I heard him tell them that at one of the games. He was like, hey, you guys come in. Some of you guys didn't win. Buy into this. We're going to get after people defensively. John, you'll know this. You know who they remind me of? They remind me of Florida State. Big, athletic guys, not necessarily great shooters, right? And then they flying around. They were bought in earlier in the year, the defensive end. Now, the reason we were so high on them was because Quinterly was playing really big-time point guard ball, distributing to everybody, finding everybody. Jones was a closer. He was playing bully ball, destroying everybody. It was like, oh, my God. Like this group is legit. It didn't matter earlier. And then now we're changing it because one other thing is, like I said, teams, you're in conference play now, and now they're scheming you. So now they're just like saying, we're playing zone. We know in the American. See, you get these other high major programs, and they feeling like, all right, we're going to play the way we play. And then you line up and play them man-to-man, and you realize, like, damn, Memphis got some athletes. They got some dudes. But now you in conference play, everybody in that league outside of FAU is probably going to be like, nah, we don't have the athletes to deal with these dudes. We got to start scheming, and we got to start zoning them. And that's what it is. They're like, look, we're not guarding you. Jordan, we ain't coming out there. We ain't picking up certain guys. Find out where Joan is. Even Quinterly isn't shooting the great, and they need him to distribute. So the quarter's just shrunk. And then you starting to bicker. You bickering a little bit. The ball isn't moving. You getting frustrated. And I'm not absolving anybody with that. That's on Penny. That's on all these guys. Again, I wasn't off them because I thought it was a one-off, and they fix it. They doubled down on the same mistakes tonight that they made last game. And now, all right, now you do it twice. Now I'm concerned. There's a reason to be concerned.
No, look, I agree. I mean, I just feel like, it makes Penny's job. And again, he signed up for it, but your job is just harder, John, when you have you can't point to a veteran that's been there for 3 or 4 years because you don't know who is it.
And that number beside your name, don't get it twisted. I bet you the buzzers, the agents are circling around that program. People are in people's ear because it is an older team, and they probably do all have some type of goal outside of the season. And that could also be a factor in distractions, or you need to show this or you need to do that. And it's like they're letting go of the rope almost, right? These last 2 games that should have been winnable games.
Yeah, definitely should have been, and they'll probably find themselves out of the top 25 come tomorrow around noon. I want to make one last point on this game because it happened around college basketball as well. We saw in the women's game as Caitlin Clark got decked on the court, and then in the Tulane, for whatever reason, well, I guess it's been 53 games since they beat a top 25 team. They stormed the court, and as it actually happened, Caitlin Clark got hit by a fan, and then in the case of David Jones, it was more intentional. A fan put both hands on David Jones and shoved him. RC, I just see the scene like this, and I say it's only a matter of time before we get another Malice at the Palace with these drunk-ass kids where there's no protection for these players. What do we do? Is this something that a policy needs to be, instituted immediately before it gets ugly? Like, what do you think on this topic specifically?
What's weird is, John, as much as I've experienced it both ways where we won at home and out, and you see fans running on the court, and then you on the road and you do it. It used to be you just celebrated with your home team, like their fans celebrated with them, and now through emphasizing the fan experiences, people coming out and they're targeting the opposing players. That's a dangerous thing now. And I'm with you because that's what's going to happen. You're going to run up on the wrong dude and they're going to lay somebody's ass out. And they're going to lay your ass out. And unfortunate as it is, you're going to put a lot of people in a bad space. And that, I hate to say it, but that athlete shouldn't be punished. Because if you run out there and like that person that intentionally ran up on Jones, and then you push him from behind, like some of it is, I don't want to overreact because it ain't like he wanted no smoke. It ain't like he running up on David Jones' face.
But you can't just take free swings at people like that.
No. I agree. Listen, no, I'm not condoning it at all. But I'm totally saying, like, if David had turned around and laid his ass out, he would have deserved it. I wouldn't even. Yep. He wouldn't have deserved any reprimand at all. But I've always been a fan of it. I think it's, some people gripe about it. It never really bothered me that much. And but I do think at some point in time, there needs to be actions taken against the people that go out and do stuff like that today. If you accidentally run over somebody, we've all been caught up in that where they're running around and they're jumping and they're celebrating. It's been more of a celebratory thing. Now it seems to be people are more intentional about, hey, I don't like John Henson. I'm about to run over there and say something
to aggressive. Him. It's aggressive.
Yes. I mean, it's like people are coming in there, they're planning it almost intentionally like, all right, John's out there. I don't like Carolina. I'm going to run over there and say something to him. And that's where it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, 95% of the time it goes well. And it's good for the game. I like it, storming the court. It's fun for the fans, but it's going to be one time where a fan does too much. And even with, David, I mean, he handled that so well, right? Just walked away, let it go. So, shout out to him. But if you come into our arena as a player, that's like us running up in your job and bumping you in the hallway and then expecting you just to walk away. Like it just doesn't, that's not how it works. And, hopefully the fans take this message and even games that could be court storming games, maybe there should be like a warning, man, before the game. Hey, look, storm the court will not be allowed, or if something does happen, you will be prosecuted for, whatever. Just even a warning. I just feel like Tulane was not ready for that. You know what I mean? So I think that's the biggest thing, just being ready for it. Just warning fans. I mean, I've been in games when I played where they get on the mic. Everybody stay in your seats. Everybody, and that kind of helped. But if you're just not gonna say nothing,
right,
that's what's gonna happen.
I mean, that's a Cracker Jack gym. Like ain't nobody, they ain't got no security.
It can be also a way you warn your students. You put your hands on another player. Either one, you can charge them.
Yeah.
You can say that to your student. You can say, "Hey, you run it. Hey, we don't mind it, but if you all these cameras and angles, we catch everything. Video cameras everywhere. Like today, if they wanted to find that guy that put his hands on David Jones, they could.
They 100%.
So if you could find it. So if when it gets to that type of situation, and you want to do that, you can. But I think the alternative is either you do that or deal with the consequences of an athlete. Because think about it, he missed a game-winning shot. He could have been so frustrated and just let his emotions go and just laid him out, and he didn't. So, like you said, credit to him for handling himself.
He didn't
the right
react.
Way.
No,
he didn't. He handled it the right way.
You might not have felt it. You might not have felt that little light tap.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He probably didn't even know who it was. He probably thought it was a teammate or something, trying to tell him like, "Come on, man, you're gonna be all right." Yeah, but no, I don't. I hate for it to go away. I think it's because most of the time, as you know, John, some college athletes, they kind of take the court and just go party, go hang out. It's a great atmosphere for everybody else. The students seem to enjoy it. I do think you got to do more. You got to figure out a better way to remind the student athletes, if you put your hands on somebody, charges, they'll be charged or something. To be the alternative. If not, then you run up on these athletes and get what you're looking for. You'll
It's
sober
the
up
same
quick.
It's the same shit that you see in the NBA, right? With all these people in the front row saying whatever they want to say,
Right.
like it's all fun and games until it becomes real. You don't just get to get off whatever you feel like, you want to dog curse Russell Westbrook or whatever. Like you didn't pay for that right. You know what I'm saying? Like you paid for the right to be a fan.
But boy, this is different. You're not talking about yelling like I'm sitting in the crowd yelling at John. I physically run on the court and put my hands on John.
Yep.
That's a whole nother level because
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You get what you're looking for. Then you'll sober up quick when they put them hands on you.
Hey, like Vernon Maxwell said, you'll get that act right. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Hey, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
And I can't wait to see the reaction. Hand wringing and suspend. And I know that whoever it is going to handle it completely wrong, and the athlete's going to be the one that gets in trouble. But it's wrong. It's wrong.
I'll tell you the most dangerous thing. Where it's concerning, John, the most dangerous thing is why you got to get out in front of this is because if we're not careful, it's going to happen in one of those rivalry games.
Oh, buddy.
Because you and I both know, like I always use Duke and Carolina. There's so much hatred and so much buildup on those rivalry games that's bound to happen in some aspect.
And just for me, like I'm so emotional on the court. I don't know what it is. It's my competitive nature, my love for the game. I'm so emotional. There's things that I've done on the court that I sit back and be like, damn, I was tripping. But when in the heat of that moment, man, like it could get ugly because for one, defending your teammates, two, it's an emotional win or loss. Maybe you had a bad game. Like there's times in the NBA where I got tossed out and I'm cursing people out and I just had a bad day. You know what I'm saying? They caught me on the right day. So you don't want that to happen, especially at the college level.
Yeah, I mean, RC, that's kind of like how I get sometimes up the street at First Evangelical. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I get caught up in the heat of the moment.
I've seen more fights in the rec league than
you know what I'm saying?
any
So
sport.
I relate.
Anywhere.
No doubt about that.
I see more fights at YMCA than I've seen in the NBA and college, so I get it. Did we lose John?
Did we lose John?
We're going to break. We'll be right back. We're going to have John right back with you.
What's going on, guys? Before we get back to the show, I need to let you all know about the Field of 68 Daily, an all-encompassing college basketball newsletter that arrives in your inbox, you guessed it, daily. For less than $1 a week, you'll wake up every morning to more than 1,500 words detailing everything that you need to know to stay up to date on the world of college basketball. From the notable mid-major upsets to the stars that are out injured to the breakout performances that only our team of college basketball junkies watched. The Daily is edited and produced by Mike Miller, who spent more than 2 decades running NBC's digital written content, and is subscribed by more than half of the Division I coaching staffs, the biggest names in college basketball media, and the agents that work as power brokers in the sport. For just $50 for the year, you get access to the same information that the insiders get. And before we get you back to your regularly scheduled Field of 68 content, let me tell you guys about the Field of 68 merch store. Head over to fieldof68.shop for officially branded Field of 68 apparel. Whether you're supporting your favorite team in the student section or from the couch, there is no better way to gear up than the latest from the Field of 68. The best thing I can say about our merch is the quality of the product. Anyone that has ever worn a t-shirt knows how frustrating it is when the neck gets all stretched out and the bottom of the shirt starts looking like the bottom of bell-bottom jeans. And there's nothing worse than a hoodie that loses its snugness that makes it such a perfect way to stay warm during the cold winter weather. Whether you're shopping for yourself or for the college basketball fan in your life, everything you need is at the fieldof68.shop.
Hey, before I got cut off there, I was going to say, RC, like in the church league up the street, I can relate because when I play, I tend to bring them out. They want to see me in action. You know what I'm saying? They want to see the ratchet in action. And so it tends to be sort of a very heated situation. So I can sort of relate to the Duke Carolina thing. You know what I mean?
I got one question. What's your game? Like what do you do? What's your game?
Oh, I mean, I'm Jay Will, white chocolate.
Okay.
But I'm a better, and I love him to death, but I'm a better shooter than he was.
Okay. I get the vision. I see it. You wear a headband, or are you straight like?
I have to. I mean, it's gotten out of control. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
When I play, they call me Mike Miller. That's what they call me when I play.
I got a question though. Can we update your Field of 68 profile picture, bro? That shit look like your prom picture. Like, seriously, cut that out. Like, cut this out.
You got the
tell Rob, you know what you look like. Hey, John, you know, like they got the athletic department pictures, and then somebody took a picture, but they've been in the university for like 25 years, and they never updated them.
It ain't that fucking drastic.
That's what John looked like.
That was a grad. That was a grad student.
He just got He got whiskers and shit all on his face. He looked like he like 10.
Hey, he had the GA pick on there.
Dude, he got this like I'm telling you, his prom picture.
That's insulting. Okay, it ain't been that fucking long, bro. I mean, I'll give you like 8. I mean, I'm not doing the rest of this show. I mean, I'm being disrespected.
You must have shaved. You must hadn't shaved.
You see, you see Jeff coming at me.
Jeff Goodman's got a hairline jokes.
Hey, I was gonna tell Jeff, man. Listen, I know some people in Charleston. Don't. I just look like this now. I know people in Charleston. You better be careful with me, dog.
First of all,
I can
first
get
of all,
canceled in Charleston. I call him.
Hey, bro, come on. Hey, come on over to the dark side, John. Come on over to the dark side, baby.
I need more hair on my face with the dark side.
It's not time.
I need more hair on my face with the dark side. I'm gonna look crazy.
All you got to do is do what John did. He ain't shaved in like 10 years. That's the only difference in his profile picture.
None of this grows. I look nasty with the baldy right now. No, I can't do it. I got.
First of all, let me just say this. Jeff Goodman shouldn't be talking about anybody's appearance, right? Let alone weighing in on somebody's hairline. You still good, John. You still good.
Hey, I'm holding on for dear life. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, we've seen a lot worse. There's no question. You know what I mean? What's the?
I gotta go to Turkey. I gotta go to Turkey, man. I got the funds.
Yeah, go to Turkey, get it done. Yeah, for sure. My boy calls it going murder one. RC, you went murder one.
Hey, get it.
Hey, but you rock it though, dude. You rock it.
Hey, get it over with, man.
Hey, look! Once I get it, once this comes in, I might can do it. Right now, I'll look crazy with the.
Hey, I feel like it's a curse, right? If you can grow a beard, which John, you and I can't do clearly, you have to lose the hair on top.
Well, my family members, my dad, and my uncles, like they still got it. Like my dad's like 59. And like, you know, it still looks okay. So I'm hoping that like there's a point where it just chills out and I could just keep it how it is. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you this.
If I get 100,000 likes, I'll shave my head. How about that?
100,000? Damn.
Yeah, I'll start liking it right now. Get line it up.
Go ahead.
RC wants you to come over. He wants you to come over to the Bald Head Island. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
I like it. Hey, look, speaking of, people that just showed up to the athletic department, that's Big Z for Kentucky. And there was a lot of back and forth from college basketball people about the impact that he might or might not make for the Wildcats upon being ruled eligible. And this dude was unbelievable. Could not miss, hitting threes everywhere, just looked like a pro. RC, is what we saw on Saturday night from him, is that real or is that just his first game? Georgia didn't necessarily know how to scout him, had no tape. Like, what do you think?
No, the talent was always there. I was just impressed that you just come out the gates like that. Like he came out the gate like he was like he been starting. Like what the Serge, and that's the last thing Kentucky needed. Like for Kentucky to get that added to their roster now, wow. I don't know how you can't be impressed with Kentucky. And I'll say this: getting him eligible and getting him back. I don't know how I don't want to see a Final Four list now without that group, without those guys in it. I mean, you can't tell me 4 teams right now and Kentucky not be in it. I know John. I know you. I know you and Hansborough can't stand Kentucky, man, but you got to be impressed with what they look like right now. You got to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Kentucky hater. I mean, I think from a perspective of offensively, I mean, they've got to be they got to have the deepest bag in the country. They might have they might have the 2 best freshmen in the country coming off the bench. Like, that's how scary they are offensively. And if they can just keep the defense respectable, I mean, you got to put them in the tier of championship contenders. Because as we know, as we've seen, talent wins in college. When it's all said and done, talent is going to win. May not win you a ship, but it'll get you somewhere. And for Big Z to come off the bench and his feel for the game, I think it was most impressive to me. Like, the behind the back, off the roll, like out of rhythm, like having played in a college game, like he's got some nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, yo, it's Baby Joker. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt like he was playing. So, it's a scary sight, and I think he does elevate them to that tier of championship contenders.
He came out there literally. He came out there like, y'all not even on my level. Like, I'm really supposed to be Euro League getting paid right now. That's what he looked like. Like, seriously.
He did.
He came out there like, look, I'm supposed to be playing in the Euro League, not on college level. Y'all insulting me by having me out here with these dudes. That's what he looked like. He did whatever he wanted. I mean, seriously,
in fairness, it was Georgia. In fairness. You know, he was probably right.
True. But with the talent that he has.
In Georgia, I mean,
right, bro. I mean, it was Georgia.
2 weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, Georgia, like before they lost, you know, Georgia was up there like a team that was impressive to us. Per se,
Georgia's been better. Georgia, this isn't the Georgia from the last couple of years. This team is much improved.
So
like
low,
Georgia is significantly
incredibly low.
Yeah,
the bar was on the floor.
Well, your Memphis team is starting to get like that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
but we off them.
I don't claim them right now. All right,
you gonna see them in a 5. Hey, you gonna see them in a 5-12. You gonna see them in a 5-12.
You better stay your ass on Bill Street. You better stay your ass on Bill Street. I know that.
You saw how good it looked, man. You saw it up close and personal, man. That's the Memphis team I claim. But I will say this on BetMGM, just for as an example on Kentucky. They're still 14-1 to win it all. And again, I feel like, John, there's value there. When you talk about adding him into the mix, you have Reed Shepherd there, obviously, who's probably a pro. And then DJ Wagner is going to get better from today in March. I mean, 14-1 feels like that's still a good price.
Yeah. And then, you know, with how this college basketball season is going, like, I wholeheartedly believe it's going to be the best team that's playing the best that will win this championship when it's down the stretch. And I would even say maybe a team that's won their conference championship could make the run, because that's just how it's been this year, man. Like, every time we believe in somebody, Memphis goes lose 2 in a row, right? Like NC State's 5-1 for the first time since David Thompson, right? We finally get on their band. Well, Virginia Tech comes in there and takes them out. Like, that's just what type of season it's been. You know, I can go down the list. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting.
I mean, we talking about games on Saturday. I mean, Arizona come back.
Yeah.
I mean, they were getting blown out. And then for Arizona to come back on a rival game in UCLA and then you know, get that dub is, you know, that's a big win, because most teams don't come back and finish that, and they did. So it's going to be a lot of that going in, man. Who's healthy, who's playing the best. But I think, again, we were talking about Kentucky. What makes Kentucky so scary is they can have one of these guys. Like, we're talking about their freshman coming off the bench. Shepherd played okay, but Dillingham didn't play well.
Nope.
He didn't shoot it well. He didn't play well. Even Bradshaw didn't play great. And then now you just having guys just coming in there and just, hey, you know what? It's like tag. You go in, you got them, and they just coming in there balling, man. That team's scary as hell. Like, I don't care who they're playing.
Yep.
We've seen them against some elite teams, and they're good. I don't know if anybody will want to see this young group as they get better as they head toward March.
And I'm gonna lock it in. I'm gonna lock it in now. Kentucky's going to the Final Four. I'm gonna lock that in on Vaulted. If you don't know, Vault is an app that allows you to participate in daily cash prize pools without an entry fee. It's the place for you to store your own predictions forever. And by using the Vaulted Challenge feature, you can prove you're smarter than your friends. Go download the Vaulted app, spelled VLTED, to challenge your friends, store your predictions, and join daily cash prize pools without an entry fee. Here's my Vaulted Challenge for tonight. It is Kentucky to make the Final Four. It's going to be Cal's first Final Four since Cat. Is that true? I mean, has it been that long? It's been a while. So yes, I've got Kentucky breaking their non-Final Four streak and going this season, adding Big Z.
Tell you
See what I'm saying, John?
That was a long time ago. That was
look like Memphis, Tennessee right there. You can't walk around like that looking like that in Memphis, dog. No way.
Nah, that was pre-kid, bro. That was like before all the shit hit the fan.
Okay.
That was that was before he lost his virginity. He ain't getting none looking like that. He was a virgin right there.
No, that was before COVID. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. Okay. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was. You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised. You know what I'm saying? I got that Memphis Steez, but we're not here to relitigate. Yeah, I got that Memphis Riz, bro.
Okay,
it's different. It's different. Yeah, move my shit back, man. All right, damn, that's unbelievable, Trevor, on your part. You get the most disappointing performance of the week. But yeah, as we get out of here, fellas, let's go around the country here. RC, who had the most impressive performance this weekend, in your opinion?
Ooh,
I'm going with Auburn. I mean, I thought they just ran through Ole Miss at home in a game of two top 25 teams, and so I was really impressed with what they did. So, we talk about we want to know how good they are. I think they answer the bell as a team that can compete in the SEC as well. So I had them winning the game, but they made it look too easy.
John, who you got?
Your
call, by the way, RC.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I mean, this may be all encompassing, but I'm gonna go with Seton Hall, 6-2 in the Big East. Like, they're competing with these top teams. I mean, they lost, to Creighton in triple overtime, but I mean, they've been beating cats and good teams on the road. I'm gonna go with Seton Hall.
I was saying good call on Auburn. I mean, to handle them the way they did. I'm gonna go UConn, bro. Because for them, I know they didn't cover the spread, but for them to go on the road against Nova, freshly, pegged as the number one team in the country, we know how hard it is to win on the road in the Big East. And I just feel like every time they take the floor and Klingen's in there, they just prove why they should be taken seriously as a repeat champ. I know, RC, you feel some type of way because of hot balls, but I mean, they just keep getting the result.
I give those guys, man, a hard time, and I joke around with him, and Rob, but they're legit, dude. Like they look like the best team. I think the thing that's surprising with everybody, so many of these other teams, and I've said this about Arizona, and right when we think it's like they can't handle success. It seems like a lot of these teams, almost like Memphis, it's like as soon as you get to a point where you start patting them on the back, everyone can't handle success. They do it. They have to do a hell of a job handling adversity to get there, and then when they get there, they don't handle success as well. And we talked about Memphis that way. I think FAU is that way. I think they're just kind of cruising through the season, and they play. They're not defending the way that they have in the past. I'm concerned about them on the defensive end of the floor, and I'm only just saying that because they played today, and I know we didn't talk about them as much as tonight.
RC, the boys is in commercials. They're in commercials. The boys down here in commercials. When I'm turning the TV, I see they in like some commercials in locally like that. I'm not playing defense as hard as I used to play if I'm in a commercial, man. Come on, man. Human nature.
I mean, maybe that's what it is. I mean, that's a big part of it. But I think not a lot of teams are doing it. And the two teams that I've seen that have been consistent all year, despite getting guys back and getting Kling and Big Fella back for Kentucky, is UConn is just they've been really impressive. I mean, I give those guys a hard time, but I can't argue. They're the number one team in the country, and they won't get an argument from me.
Yeah. All right.
I'm still gonna talk my trash to them though.
No, do your thing. I mean, you own one tonight. I mean, talk your shit, man. You going at everybody. You going at everybody tonight.
Yeah.
Me, UConn. I mean, damn. All right. Last thing before we get up out of here, let's go with the other side of this. Most disappointing performance before we get to toast of the night. Who had the most disappointing performance this week, RC?
Oh, come back to me. Go to John first. Let me think about that. I need to think about
RC is requesting more time.
I've been like deep in ACC stuff for all I do. I'm gonna go Miami Hurricanes. They've lost 4 out of 5 down the stretch. They don't look good. I don't think they're really healthy. They lack size. They are on the verge of. I mean, I don't think they are in the tournament right now. A former Final Four team, even though they lost a couple pros, that's the team that's probably most disappointing. Because, I mean, 2 months ago, this was an 8th ranked Miami Hurricanes team playing well at that.
RC, have you had enough time? You can't just say Memphis
I'll say
every
Arkansas.
time we ask you about disappointing performances.
I'm gonna go Arkansas. Hey, look, I got to give you a hard time, man. Get you talking about them because you got to go back there. I think Arkansas has been the biggest surprise for me, and we give them we always give them an out and say, hey, they're going to figure it out. They're going to turn around. They always do this second half of the year, and I don't know if this team is going to figure it out. I haven't seen much to make me think that they're going to figure it out. So my disappointing team over the weekend will be Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm just going to say Mick Cronin. Just because the way he's handling all of this,
he got to fake.
They almost got one yesterday, though.
I know.
They almost got one.
It's the post game. Post game.
Yeah, he got to hide them emotions, man. Like, dang, bro, we know he's struggling. Like, he be letting them reporters have it, boy.
Yeah, he was. That was just a bad look, man. You're up 15 with 15 to go. I know it's there. I mean, yeah, you got to get that done, coach. I'm sorry. It's the way it's got to be. I can't argue. No, that was an ugly one. And they couldn't do shit down the stretch. And then you take it out on the media. I mean, that's just bad look. All right, of the night, RC. Who are we toasting tonight, my friend?
Oh, who am I toasting to tonight? I'm toasting to the Kansas City Chiefs, baby, getting it done. Winning y'all. One of y'all won 2,500 and one of y'all won 2,000 tonight. So that looks like it's free dinner and free drinks for me. So thank you, Kansas City. My boy's gonna look out for me. My boy's gonna take care of me when next time I see him.
Well done.
It's like you giving LeBron. It's like you giving LeBron 10 points and he's been to the finals 6 years in a row. Like I'm taking that every day of the week.
What are we doing, John? Come on now. Yeah, for sure.
Man. I want my medium rare. I want my ribeye, cowboy ribeye, medium rare with some nice wine, fellas. That's all I ask. Go ahead, John. Right. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna go with Tulane getting their first victory in a quarter century against a ranked team. I mean, that's a big deal. So, toast to them. I got a little espresso martini. I don't know if y'all can see that right there, but I'm going to enjoy those funds.
I thought that was coffee, dude. For real. I thought that was
no. This got a little tequila in it. I gotta go.
Yeah, we were wondering what that was, bro. What is that?
Listen, I'm gonna reimburse the Kansas City funds into the streets tonight, man. So you guys enjoy yourself.
Right, cheers. Who else but Michigan State going on the road, basically as a pick? Don't take it for granted in the Big Ten. Tom Izzo getting hot at the right time. Toast Michigan State Spartans.
Toasted John with the styrofoam cup, double cupped up. I was sitting there, dog.
Gotta have it. That's how. Hey, that's how you know it was a big night in this house when we got the styrofoam out.
Memphis rubbing off on you. I see. God,
he got some iced tea. He got some iced tea in his cup, John. He over there drinking iced tea.
Iced tea.
Hey, I'm gonna say it like this. I'm gonna say it like this. My wife did bedtime tonight. No questions asked. I can't be in there reading no damn bedtime stories. I'm in here. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. So, yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night in the house. Hey, we had a fun time tonight here on the Field of 68 after dark, and we'll be back next week for Randolph Childress, for John Henson. I'm John Martin. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on a Sunday night.